Carson-Newman, how I love thee, alma mater, hail.
Orange and blue wave high above thee.
Through the common gate.
As we look at Carson-Newman's history, we'll pay tribute to some of those who through years have modeled servant leadership and who also have worked to keep hope alive. And I thought about those 5 Baptist laymen who met under an oak tree after working all day in their hayfields, who envisioned a college on the banks of Mossy Creek. The early dreams of those 5 Baptist laymen that started in the mid-1800s soon resulted in our Carson-Newman College. First as Mossy Creek Baptist College, then later Carson College, which eventually merged with Newman College, a school for young ladies. There were many obstacles to overcome that would have caused most leaders to just give up. The first president died soon after his appointment. Tennessee seceded from the Union in 1861. Our students began to leave to either join the Union or the Confederate forces as the Civil War started. The college had to close, and Union troops used our buildings. Later, the college was even sold at auction. But in 1866, the trustees bought the college back and opened the doors again. Those early leaders would not let go of their dreams. They remained passionate and persistent about their vision and focused on keeping hope alive. Jesse Baker was named president in 1869, and since there was no money to fund the operations of the college, President Baker set out to raise money. He had to travel 3,500 miles on horseback, and he personally raised enough money so that by the end of the year, the college was debt-free. In 1889, Carson-Newman became the first co-educational 4-year college in the state of Tennessee when the 2 colleges, Carson and Newman, merged. We had tragedy as well. In 1916, the first administration building burned. A replacement building was built on the same site and named for John T. Henderson. In 1974, that building also burned. I'll never forget the call that came early in the morning telling us about the fire and the pain that I experienced. It felt like I'd lost a long-time friend, and even more so after my husband and I traveled to the campus and saw the smoldering ruins, and Dr. Dan Taylor, one of our religion department professors, standing on the grounds, still in shock after losing his life's work in the fire, a translation of the Bible which was almost completed. The building that we see there now, on our highest hill, is the 3rd building to occupy that site. It still bears the Henderson name, and it is one of our most recognizable icons. The quality of our academic program has always been a high priority here. We were accredited by the Southern Association of Colleges and Universities in 1927, a very important accreditation that has continued to this time. Intercollegiate athletics began in 1920, with our teams in the early days being called the Fighting Parsons. How would you like that name today, guys? There have been notable achievements through the years, but 1965 was a great year that provided national exposure for Carson-Newman through athletics as well as academics. Our baseball team won a national championship. Our men's basketball coach was named NAIA Coach of the Year, and our debate team won a national debate championship. A few years later, 1972, Carson-Newman played in its first football national championship, and after winning 5 such championships, the college moved to a higher level of athletic competition, NCAA Division II. Carson-Newman has had 3 presidents who've served for 20 years or more. The first was Dr. James T. Warren, who began in 1927, Dr. Harley Fight in 1948, and Dr. Cordell Maddox in 1977. I've had the privilege of working with 2 of them. Dr. Harley Fight, who was president while I was a student here at Carson-Newman, initiated an aggressive building program, worked tirelessly to improve the curriculum, and there was never a question as to who was in charge. Everyone knew it was Dr. Fight. He was a very intelligent, hard-working, caring person who operated from an improvement philosophy in every area of his life. Enrollment reached 2,000 during his presidency, a new record for the college. I'll have to admit that as students, we were somewhat afraid of Dr. Fight because he was well known for walking around the campus and calling down students about their behavior. In fact, one day, Kent and I were walking across the campus coming to chapel, holding hands, and he stopped to reprimand us for undue familiarity. How about that? I worked later with Dr. Cordell Maddox and served as chairperson of the Board of Trustees during the last 3 years of his presidency. Early in his presidency, we opened what we then called the new music building. 2 other examples from his administration that stand out for me are the comprehensive strategic plan and the building of the Student Activities Center. The strategic plan that was developed in 1988 with the help of George Keller, a consultant from Columbia University, in my opinion, was the finest planning work ever done by the college. It guided us extremely well for several years with the 4 steeples of excellence: church music, Baptist history, wellness, and Appalachian studies serving as the foundation. The building of the much-needed and long-anticipated Student Activities Center was opened in 1993. It was later named the Maddox Student Center to honor Dr. Maddox for his 22 years as president. It's hard to imagine the campus without that facility today, isn't it? The center has greatly improved the quality of life for you, all of our students, and is certainly a central gathering point for everyone on campus. I also served with Dr. James Netherton, our 21st president. We celebrated our sesquicentennial, 150 years of serving students, in 2001. New buildings and facilities, the Appalachian Commons, apartments for students, the new Berktar football stadium, and the Bly Poteet Family and Consumer Science building are some of the highlights from his 7 years. Our forensics team also won a national championship. Remember, we did that in 1965 as well.
Kay and I are thrilled to be at a Christian university, a Christian college, where moral education has not withered. This is a college that has a magnificent vision, and that vision is to be a premier Christian liberal arts college making a worldwide impact. There is still a strong demand for a college that is based on morals and values, and furthermore, on Christian principles. Carson-Newman was founded in 1851 on the banks of the Mossy Creek as the Mossy Creek Missionary Baptist Seminary, designed with the purpose to educate ministers, missionaries, and all others who would come through these doors. So Carson-Newman has a long storied history of being a Christ-centered college, and that's going to continue.